Hey guys, Mike here. So boy, what a big week ahead of us, and boy, we got some nice selling on Friday, as everybody saw. And there was news that came out, which people say, oh, it was the news. See, that's what caused the market to go down, blah, blah, whatever. I will show you 3 critical things. I even include a fortress for the heck of it in there to show you exactly why you saw like a waterfall type sell-off with just no kind of move up in the market whatsoever. Okay, and we can compare this to Thursday. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, but it's very important because it doesn't present itself very often. If I had to guess, I'm doing research on this right now, and I'll let the members know the details, but it's like, I don't know, what do you think? Probably once a month at best, if that. And so again, I'll have the final details in a couple weeks when I've researched it all up. But when it does, when it goes both ways, up and down, it can be a really good opportunity. Also, there's a clear theme of what's happening with the retail stocks right now as they're being taken out to the woodshed, as you can see as well. And then we'll go into the big daddy of them all, which is going to be NVIDIA. They report earnings this week. We'll look at the chart because compared to a lot of stocks, they have held up really well so far. But again, it is reporting Wednesday, and it is, as you see with earnings, man, boy, if you can get punished severely in this earnings season, or you can get rewarded handsomely. Congratulations to anybody. And I totally forgot to include the chart in this video. Who got in the Celsius? We had talked about it Thursday night. And of course, they end up absolutely skyrocketing over 30%. I think they were still up almost 30%, even with a major sell-off across pretty much almost every sector there. So that falling wedge worked out. And again, they were just beaten down 78%, hitting a 0.79 fib and a falling wedge. There you go. And they say, we're going to buy a company. And away that stock went because it's highly shorted, low float. Okay, so congratulations to anybody got on that one. Now, looking at the news, which they say will drive down the market, it was the flash manufacturing and services PMI. Remember, manufacturing makes up about 30%, and then services about 70% of our economy. Manufacturing has been in the dumps, been recovering lately. All of a sudden, though, services down to 49.7. Not where you want to be because that is contraction. Okay, you can survive with manufacturing down there, but when 70% of your economy is services, not usually a great thing. So let's see what we get on the next report to see if this continues in that direction. Also got the AI report, also got the sentiment, which is in the dumps. And you can see, I mean, people are so bearish. Here we are sitting at like, it's rare to be at all-time highs or near it, and to be that bearish in the market and have the sentiment be the way it is, okay? But here's what really happened. Here's a few things. One, volatility in the bond market, okay? If you follow the VIX, that's fine. I would really highly suggest you follow MOVE, because when MOVE, which is the volatility index for the bonds, when it pops, as I'll show you right here with SPY, that means SPY is normally going down, okay? Especially you get a decent move in this. And so we'll pull up SPY, you can see kind of the inverse relationship. And, many times you'll say, oh, look, SPY's up, VIX is up. Usually though, if MOVE's popping, SPY is going sideways or down, okay? And so, because the market does not like it to see the bond market have any kind of volatility or any jitters or anything else. And you can see it's been popping the last few days. SPY's been down the last 2 days, okay? So any big green candles. But for the most part, when you're seeing big moves up, the market's either going sideways or down. And when the move is coming down, the market's going up, okay? And so that is just something key to point out here. So that is one thing that's been happening on Thursday, and then a big move up on Friday right there. And it's in that area, which I had pointed out to members a while back, that's just where it's at. When it gets in that shaded area and pops, normally we get a sell down right there, okay? Now, when you look over here, what's the other thing? Showed you this dark pool level, okay? It was like, what, 607.58 or whatever it is. And I was telling people, okay, look, we got to break those lows from the previous day and not get rejected. And also something else very important had to happen. And what happened? We got rejected. And when we got rejected right there and it started coming down, you can see 2 lines right there. One is a line for the gamma flip. The other one is that ascending trend line, which has been in place all year. So it's a major deal, right? So we reject right here, step 1, all right? Come down, try to hold into positive gamma. Cannot go into negative gamma and then break this major trend line right there. Okay, so that's our year-to-date trend line. Break that, and because we're in negative gamma and the bond market's having volatility going up and all that fun stuff, you see this waterfall effect. How do we know it's that reason? Because look at Thursday. We sold down, but we never went into negative gamma. We never broke a major trend line, okay? the volatility in the bond market wasn't anywhere near as much as it was on Friday. So therefore, we had a nice recovery. Look at this thing. Where's the recovery? There's nothing there. It's just a waterfall. And so, and after we broke all that, it was like 1.2% down from there. And we were already down at that moment. But that's what happens. And when you go into negative gamma, you can have a waterfall effect. When you go back and through positive gamma and you're breaking through major stuff, then you can get this squeeze up instead, okay? So that's just what happens. I'm going to do a whole members video on this probably Monday for them to show them exactly what we're talking about, because when it presents itself, it is a big thing. Now, what else is everybody watching? The dollar. So the major level here. If this breaks down, you're going to see emerging markets, overseas markets, they're going to be doing even better, and also some other areas as well. But if it pops back up and starts moving higher, it's going to put pressure on things. So people are definitely going to be watching that. What'd you see with TLT? Look at that. Finally breaking that trend line. We'll see if it holds after multiple rejections going back to September of last year. And of course, we'll see if this is going to come up and hold or not. I mean, we've seen in the past, it'll break a major trend line, come up, come back down, retest it, hold out, because it's at the mercy, obviously, of the 10-year, okay? And you can see the 10-year is sitting here at another major level. Where did it bounce? Same place it bounced the last 3 times. Same place that was rejection, okay, the last time. And so this one's trying to hold up. And again, if it breaks right there, keep starting to head down, that's going to be good for real estate stocks. 30-year mortgage should drop. Lending rates, okay, that's a big thing. But then again, people are going to say, wait a minute, why is it dropping? Is it because it sees the economy slowing down, where are we heading to, all that fun stuff? Does not mean the market's going to start to sell down immediately on that news, by the way. Or it could pop, start putting pressure on things once again. Now, SPY here, of course, what it do? Mitigate this daily fair value gap, mitigated this fair value gap as well. Huge red candle down, nice little waterfall effect. You don't get many daily candles that size, right? Now, you can see where it stopped. One, you got this right here. You got support sitting there. That's where it's at. So it can still go down. So 598.25, somewhere in that area. Important level to see if that's going to hold tomorrow. Or are we going to continue to come down? That's going to be key. And it's not just that. When you really look at this thing, I mean, obviously, we got more daily fair value gaps down below. We got another gap down below right there. It'll end to like 585 right there. If we want to continue putting pressure on there. But again, when we pull up the moving averages, you can see what's stopping this, right? It's on the 50 moving average or right at it. And so that's another thing. So you got support there. You got your 50 moving average there. Usually a good place for a bounce and stuff. So we're going to see if that's going to be the case or not come tomorrow. I know a lot of people are buying this dip and see if it can ride back up. You can see that volume gap right there. And so it can definitely move up at least up to that trend line, that descending trend line. If it decides to pop back up, where there'll be resistance there. Another thing that happened when it came down was there's a major dark pool level. I mean, a major one, like $4.3 billion in notional value right there at 599.88. And if you look, that's basically where it hung out at for like an hour and a half the other day. That's where it stopped and started consolidating. So we'll put that on there and have that marked up and everything. And so we'll see if that's going to hold or not. Again, this gives reasons to have at least a bounce. But if it doesn't and it breaks down below that, that will be resistance the same way the other dark pool level was on Friday. And so it's kind of important to hold the 50 and support and these big dark pool levels and all that fun stuff. So we'll see what the futures bring overnight. Now, when we look at the direction we might go, 2 scenarios. One, we come up right here, try to mitigate part of this fair value gap, reject that trend line, set a lower high, and start heading back down farther. The other one is we come up, get rejected that trend line, and all of a sudden come back down, fake everybody out, start moving up higher. Because again, some people I know that do like Elliott waves, they were in wave 4 pullback, and then we got the wave 5 up. So wave 4 could continue because again, what's the seasonality? Seasonality is down starting at this time, and then it pops up in March. Okay, and of course we have NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday, and we have other data coming out this week that could absolutely affect the market for sure. But when you look at that seasonality going past the first week of March, it's pretty bullish. So we'll see again how this is going to play out. But when you go over here, the Qs are in the same sense, right? Here's the Qs. And we've seen, like I said, when you get these all-time highs, things get funny, right? Funny things happen. Breaks that all-time high finally, phew, down we go, all right? Back below that trend line, you can see where the support is here. And so this still has room to drop if it wants to mitigate that fair value gap into support. And if we pull up the moving averages, you can see exactly where the moving averages are right there. Looky. There's the 50, okay? And there's where your volume is. So we're going to see if it's going to come down and touch that or not. That's key to hold, though. If not, then obviously we can start heading even lower. And again, this is the problem with the Qs is the Mag 7, right? Struggling, okay, on the struggle bus. And you can see retail stocks are just getting taken to the woodshed. All right, Palantir still down. Most of them are all down. Double digits at this point in time. We'll see if it's going to try to fill that gap. HIMS absolutely beat down, coming down at this daily fair value gaps box we marked out. I think it was last week or whenever we were talking about this. People said, if it comes down, where do you think it'll come down to? Well, right in this area, right? That starts to almost be the discount. They have earnings on Monday, so that could completely flip. So keep that in mind. Hood's another popular one. I mean, how much is this one down? 24% right there. Coming into a discount, coming to an area of support. And I know Hood definitely coming to an area where people are pretty interested in that one at that level. Affirm's another one. I mean, fintech just getting absolutely just beat down, okay? And a lot of it has to do with like XYZ report, which we'll look at in a minute. That one's right above a gap. Will it fall into it? Upstart, of course, but a big pump on earnings. Been dropping ever since, down about 26%. Again, this is a low float, highly short stop. It coming into a support area, even though it did break that trend line, but it's done it before. A lot of these low float stocks. Oklo we talked about, another one, boom. You can just see them. They're all coming down into major discounts now, okay? Because big money don't like to buy up there in the skies, okay? They like to do the discounts. We talked about that one. SoFi is another one coming down to an area which is definitely going to be where people will probably start really picking it up. They're not already major discount into a support area right there if it continues to come down. And you can see it's got what? A lower high set, right? So a major daily lower high right there. And so we're going to see if it's going to break it instead of lower and low. That's going to be the key for SoFi. And it's not, again, a high flyer like a lot of these other stocks, okay? But it is a popular retail stock. Rocket Labs, all these space stocks, again, coming down the area where they need to hold, get a bounce. Look over here, and I'm going to put a trend line right here just to see if this will actually hold. We'll go up here and look at XYZ, which is not a high flyer stock, but it's bringing down the fintech stocks. I mean, major drop, almost 20% on earnings right there. I bet you if I pull this over, that's where it stopped. And magically, yep, that's where it stopped at. So again, this one right here is probably going to bounce off that trend line. We'll see if it starts to move back up a little bit or not. I guess you change the name. I don't know how many times. This is the third name they're on right now. I don't know why they keep changing the name, but you can see where support is. They're right at it. Okay, where the volume profile says this definitely needs to hold to get a bounce right here. And that's really the bigger question. Is, you know, the market, which is going to be the hedge funds, pushing this stuff down to try to buy at a discount, or is it something bigger? That's what we got to wait and see right here. Look at another popular one is going to be Reddit. This right here has been getting just hammered down, about 30% down right here. It didn't even add a discount yet, depending on where you want to pull it from. But, you know, this is another one that can keep falling. You look at the volume range, volume profile, not a lot of real support there at that area. We're going to see if it can hold or not. And so, you know, it's been very popular since it retailed, or I'm sorry, when it IPOs and stuff, and people bought this one up and drove it up from $40 to $240 right there. So you can see it broke the 50 moving average. You see where the 100 is at, between the golden pocket and the 0.5 fib. You go over to app, that was another one. I think it's a low float stock as well. Popped on earnings, and then of course just sold off ever since. We'll see if it's going to fill this gap down to 396.29 or not. So that's another big one retail seems to love to get into. And then of course trade desk. Oh boy, this one has been just taken out and beat down. Oh my goodness, look at that drop. Oh man, earnings got crushed overall. This one's down 50% in 78 days. I think it was like 30% just on the earnings drop. And it's coming into an area where it needs to hold. Okay, major discount. Broke the 200 weekly moving average, which was never good. All right, into a volume gap. So this one can continue to go down. You can see around 61.40. That gives the 0.79 fib. Again, you got a little support right there. If it continues to go, though, all the way down to like 45. So this one has just been getting hammered. All right, and we've seen this when it happened to Celsius and Elf and all these others. They didn't stop. So we're going to get to see if this is going to stop or not. Now, going over to the Big Daddy, NVIDIA right here, holding up much better than a lot of stocks. Okay, with this selling off, and you can see it didn't really go down that much compared to a lot of the others right here. But what is that? That is a descending trend line. It cannot get above it. It's just another rejection. Okay, but we held around that 129 to 135 area so far, which is important. It didn't break through both moving averages. It's kind of sitting right on them. when we pull up the 50 and the 100, and you can see where the 200 is at. So if earnings come in, you know, not good, the market just don't like it and wants to push it down, watch for that 200 moving average to be the problem. But again, this will change with earnings. Now Tesla, again, that line, man, 337.50 to around 360 keeps holding. That's where it's at right now. It's where it stopped on Friday. We get to see, because I'm telling you, a lot of people, I'm going to extend this out, are sitting there looking at that shaded box going, okay, 271, 304, somewhere in that area. Will it come down and kind of retest the November 5th election gap? Is that what's going to happen? You see this area here is pretty important. 262.25, I believe it is. That right there is 270.25, which is the bottom right there, that shaded area. You can see how many times there's been resistance. And so it hadn't retested yet. It hadn't come down and actually turned it into support. And right now, it's falling below its 50. It's right below that 100 moving average. And you see where the 200 is at. It's right in that same area. So that would be a crazy, like, I mean, a lot of people would be sitting there. I'll say crazy buying opportunity, but a lot of people would be sitting right there, okay? And they don't have earnings. They just don't have any news. That's why you see any kind of call flow come in? Nothing. Elon's too busy doing stuff with the government right now, I guess. But, you know, that's where those are at. Now, speaking of earnings, we got a boatload of earnings. Monday, Domino's in the morning. And then in the afternoon, like I said, this could flip. You're going to have HIMs and HERs. You're going to have all your crypto stocks, your miners like Riot coming out, Cleveland Cliffs, Zoom's going to be another one. And you come over here to Tuesday, Home Depot. A lot of people are going to be listening on this one. See if they see us slow or not. Remember, Walmart got hit hard on theirs, and their earnings weren't even bad. They just put out guidance for 2026, which people didn't like. Kava, First Solar. There's another solar company reporting last week, which absolutely exploded. Lemonade is going to be another one. We'll see if that one's going to get hit hard, because it's been getting hard in the last couple of days. Intuit, and then, of course, Wednesday, people will listen to Lowe's, Advanced Auto Parts, and then that night, NVIDIA, Snowflake, C3AI, Salesforce, Marathon Digital. And so there's going to be a loaded group of stocks. A lot of volatility will happen in futures overnight. And then Thursday, you have Norwegian Cruise Lines, always still traveling. That's going to be a big one. And then Soundhounds are very popular. It's been getting beat down for retailers. Dale's another one. Archer, Clover, a lot of high flyers right there. And then on Friday, you got Fubo, which I ain't really paid much attention to. I know some people get into that. Now, as far as data, don't have a lot of it, but what we do have is pretty important. Monday, you don't have to write anything. And then Tuesday, you're sitting there with CB Consumer Confidence, Richmond Manufacturing Index. Then Wednesday, you got new home sales, crude oil inventories. And then Thursday is going to be preliminary GDP quarter-over-quarter, unemployment claims, durable goods, all that fun stuff. And then Friday is going to be the big one, core PCE price index month-over-month, personal income, personal spending, and Chicago PMI. So buckle up for another fun one. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen tomorrow. And please hit that like, subscribe button on your way out. Thank you about membership, left the McDonald's combo, and I will see you guys tomorrow.